Hi folks, welcome back to Stacy Can. I am making Blackberry jam today. This does apply to the same recipe you can use a variety of berries for. You can use Blackberry, Boysenberry, Dewberry, Loganberry, red or black raspberry, and Youngberries. I would follow a different recipe for blueberries and strawberries. The measurements are a little bit different for that, as well as sugar requirements and such, because those two berries don't have as much pectin in them and a variety of other things. So just make sure that you're using this just for those types of berries that I just listed. I am using the recipe from the Sure-Jell box. I love Sure-Jell Pectin, it's my favorite. And then this little recipe thing comes in each box, so it's sort of handy. So I'm using the cooked jam recipe. They also have cooked jelly. They've got no sugar needed cooked jam recipes and freezer jam recipes. So this is it's just solid recipes for this. So the amount of berries that you need about 10 cups of berries, which equal 5 cups of mashed berries. So we will need a potato masher, which I am not showing at the moment, but I will definitely need a potato masher to smush them down. You can, if you want, put them through a sieve, say it wrong every time, to get rid of the seeds. And the recipe recommends putting like half of the berries through a sieve, so it removes half of the seeds through it. But I'm not going to. We like the full fruit jam in our household, so that's up to you as to what you want to do. Then you also need 4 cups of sugar, and a package of pectin, which equals out to be like 1.75 ounces. And it comes in this little package here. I am going to take some of the measurement, 1/4 of a cup of the pre-measured sugar, put it in a dish, and mix it up with pectin here in a second, and stir it up really well. The reason why we do that is because the pectin will clump if you don't mix it with the sugar. The sugar helps keep it from clumping when you mix it in with the berries initially. And then if you want to reduce foam, you can add a 1/2 teaspoon of butter. I don't do that. That's a purely aesthetic thing for folks. So if you want to add some butter to help reduce the foam, you can do so. I don't do that in my household. It's just a step I skip. So it's really up to you on how it looks when you open up the jar. It doesn't do much for me. I don't notice too much of a difference, so I skip it. But again, personal preference, it's up to you. So with all of that, the tools we need, your lids and your rings and your jars and your canner, etc. We need our funnel, we need our ladle, our jar lifter, our headspace tool, and our lid lifter. I am heating the lids today, and rings, bands, and a potato masher, which I am not showing at the moment, but definitely a potato masher or something to mash the berries with. You can use the back of a jar, you can use whatever works best for you. So with all of that, let's go ahead and get started.
We picked these berries last night, and I washed them and measured them out and stuck them in the refrigerator. So first thing you want to do is make sure to rinse them. You don't have to rinse them really well, but do give your berries a good rinse and a drain before making jams. So that's the first thing you do. The second thing we're going to do is go ahead and just put a few berries in here in this bowl. This bowl has got a measurement on it, so I'm going to measure out 5 cups. But I am going to mush them a little bit as we go. And I'm putting them in the sink because blackberries, they stain. And you keep adding as you go until you get a good mix. After we mush the berries, I'm going to go ahead and mix up the sugar and the pectin. So just empty out the package of pectin here. Take 1/4 of a cup of the pre-measured sugar. Pour it in with pectin and just give it a good stir. I like to use a fork because it does a good job of mixing it together and also working out any clumps if they develop. Got the pectin and sugar mixture here, so we're going to go ahead and just pour that in to the berries, and we're going to get this heat going up to high. Get the burner on high, give this a stir, and we are going to keep stirring and until we get a rolling boil, one that you can't stir away before we add the sugar.
All right, we've got a rolling boil that we can't stir away, so I'm going to add the rest of the sugar. Ooh, don't look, that was a lot. So we're gonna stir this until it comes to a rolling boil again, and we'll set the timer for 1 minute to boil it hard. Got a rolling boil that I can't stir away, and I've set the timer for 1 minute. One thing I did not do today is a gel test or a pectin test. That's when you put a spoon in some ice water or take a plate and put it in the freezer, and you can drop some of the jam on top of the plate, the cold plate, and run your finger through it to see if it separates well. With the spoon, you would just take that cold spoon and scoop up some of the jam after you've added the sugar and brought it up to a rolling boil that you can't stir away. That's when you would do the gel test. And I just don't, and you can tell if it sheets down or not, and how much thickness you want with that, how much pectin. If you need to add some more pectin, that's when you would do that. I chose to not do it because I just normally don't do that with blackberry jams, and a lot of my jams actually. Some I do, some I don't. More for jellies, but for jam, we're okay in our family if it's a little runny. If it's not, it really is up to you on that part. It's a personal preference, and my family is very indifferent. So do a pectin test or a gel test if you would like. So I'm taking the heated jar out of the canner. I did measure the temperature. It is 180 degrees in there, and we are adding the jam, doing a 1/4 inch headspace. So I've got it at a 1/4 inch headspace. That's looking good. I'm gonna take my paper towel here and use the lid water, clean the rim really well. Be careful because that water is hot. Take your, get a lid here and your ring, just fingertip tight. That's it. And it's hot potato, so be careful. Fingertip tight, maybe a 1/2 inch more of a twist beyond that, and then just up and over and into the canner it goes. Don't tip it or tilt it. Got all the jars in the canner. I've set the heat up to high onto canner in this electric canner. If you're using a stovetop one, just turn the heat up all the way to high until you get to a rolling boil, and then we'll set the timer for 10 minutes. Got a rolling boil, so I've set the timer for 10 minutes for my elevation, which is 0 to 1,000 feet. From 1,000 to 6,000 feet, it's 15 minutes, and then above 6,000 feet, it's 20 minutes. But just check down below in the show notes, and I have all that information for you. Timer has gone off, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut the heat on the canner, turn it completely off, and then I'm gonna remove the lid. Be very careful. Make sure to open the lid away from your face or you'll get a facial you don't want. And I'm gonna set the timer for 5 minutes. By leaving the jars in the canner for 5 minutes with the lid off and the heat off, it does help settle the food and helps with the sealing process. The 5-minute timer has gone off to settle the jars, so we're gonna go ahead and take them out. And when you take them out, remember to just go up and over. Don't tip or tilt the jars. I was hoping you could see the rich color here, how deep purple burgundy this is, but it's not showing itself off very well on camera, but it's got a great color. And this is how we make blackberry jam. Thanks so much for joining me today, or any berry jam, actually. Well, the list of berries that I had rattled off at the beginning. Remember, it's a little different with strawberry, blueberry jams. I would double check recipes on different recipes on that for sugar content and the amount of pectin to use, as blackberries have a lot of natural pectin, so you don't often need as much pectin to get them to gel up and firm up into a jam. So that is how we do it. The recipe is down below, and please like and subscribe my page as well. That does help. And if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, feedback, concerns, by all means, please reach out to me. I'm on Facebook at Stacy Can Can. You can at me on Instagram and TikTok at Stacy Can Can. My website is www.stacycancan.com. And my email is info@stacycancan.com. So thanks again for joining me today, and until next time, happy canning.